Those who stay away from the election think that one vote will do no good. 'Tis but one more step to think that one vote will do no harm. This was a quote said by Ralph Waldo Emerson. Voting is a privilege that everyone needs to realize and use. I recently registered to vote, and it already made me feel part of something bigger than myself, and to be able to take part in what one day I know will be an important historical event is really amazing. Many of us are over 18, and of course we all live in the United States right now, so why wouldn't we want to use one of our most important rights as a citizen? Once you realize why the need to vote is so significant, it will be so easy to want to take action, and I'll inform you of how easy it is to register. It is our duty as U.S. citizens to take part in the process. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, in 2012 the total number of Americans eligible to vote was about 218 million, but the total number of Americans who actually registered to vote was about 146 million, and the total number of Americans who actually voted was only 126 million. That's only 57.5% of Americans who voted. Now imagine if everyone voted and all opinions were heard. It's not so hard to think that maybe the results of past elections would have been very different. If everyone voted, each president would be a more accurate representation of what the U.S. wants in a leader. Most people don't have the same privilege as us to be able to vote and voice their opinion and take part in something that directly affects them, so we should really use our right to vote and vote. We all have to live with the consequences of the upcoming election, so it's in the best interest of all of us to vote. How you can help is by being registered to vote. By registering to vote, you can know you took part in an important historical event. Think about all the important events that people have voted about now, and imagine if those people had decided not to vote and the results could be very different. Events defining big issues such as slavery, women's rights, and racial indifferences would have been severely different if a different president had been elected. The Secretary of State.gov website states that our government was designed for citizen participation, so if you don't vote, other people are going to make the decisions for you. Would you want to take that chance about such big issues? It's easy to say that we don't have a voice, but imagine if everybody felt like that, then nothing would ever get accomplished. It's very easy to register to vote, and it doesn't cost anything, so why not take part in something that we can make a big change in? I remember thinking that voting wasn't important and debating not being registered to vote. But as I learned more about the voting process and how important it really is, I realized I would be crazy not voicing the opinion that I'm lucky enough to have. Imagine being on election day and you're watching the news and you hear that your candidate won, but it was a close call. Now imagine if you and a few other people had decided not to vote and your candidate had lost. You would be so ecstatic that you actually decided to take a stand and had an impact on the race by registering to vote and using that registration to actually vote on election day. I'm asking everyone of all ages, no matter if you just turned 18 or if you're in your 80s, I think it's time that you use your voice and help our country pick the best president, and knowing that you had a role in that will really help you. You need to register to vote in order to better the country and even better yourself by gaining more knowledge about a very important issue. You can register to vote by printing out the voting document or registering online at www.usa.gov, or you can go in person to your closest election office or DMV and have someone help you complete it in person. Like I've said, if you want to do your part as a citizen that many people would love to have, then you need to register to vote. You'll feel better knowing that you stood up for something you believed in and took part in something so significant. Just make sure to register to vote, and then come November, head to the polls to voice your opinion, because it's our right and privilege as citizens to do so. As Martin Luther King stated, our lives begin to end the day we become silent about the things that matter. Can you imagine if he had thought the same and didn't use his voice to have his opinion heard?